There are some mornings that change everything, even when you're too young to understand why. The house was quiet, too quiet. My sister and I sat on the bed, and my mom was lying on the floor. We thought she was sleeping, so we did what children do. We tried to wake her up. Mommy, wake up. But she didn't move. My sister, she was only 7, but somehow she knew what to do. She picked up the phone, called for help, called my dad, while I just stood there, waiting for my mom to open her eyes. Then suddenly, the house wasn't quiet anymore. My aunties burst in, screaming, crying, but it didn't feel like grief. It felt like noise. Then my dad came in, and I will never forget that sound, the way he cried. That was the moment something in me knew, even before I understood death. They carried her away in a body bag, and just like that, my mother was gone. 5 days later, it was my birthday. She used to bake me one cake for every year of my life. I was turning 4, so I was expecting 4 cakes, but this time there was only one. And even as a child, I knew something was missing. Not just the cakes, her, at her funeral. People laughed, argued, even celebrated. But my sister, my dad, and I, we cried quietly because we understood something no one had to explain. The covering over our lives had been taken away.
They say children heal quickly, that they forget, but I remember every word, every face, every silence. A few days after we buried my mother, the family gathered in our village. I thought they had come to comfort us. Instead, they came looking for someone to blame. I was only 7 years old. My feet could barely touch the ground as I sat among adults discussing death as though I could understand it. Then my aunt stood up. She pointed at me and she said I killed my own mother. She said there was a secret world our children entered at night, a world I had never heard of. She claimed those people demanded a sacrifice, and somehow I had offered them my mother. She said I had given them something that belonged to her, a wrapper, a piece of clothing, an item from our home, and that was how they took her life. The adults listened, some nodded, some whispered, some avoided my eyes. No one asked if a 7-year-old girl could possibly understand what they were accusing her of. Then she reached into her bag and brought out a bottle of water from her church. She said if I drank it, I would confess. I stared at the bottle. I didn't understand why everyone was looking at me. I only wanted my mother back. Then I looked at my father, the one person I believed would protect me. He was crying. His tears fell faster than mine ever could. He looked at me, not like his daughter, but like someone he feared, and through his tears, he called me a witch. I cannot describe what those words did to a little girl who had just lost her mother. It felt as though the ground disappeared beneath my feet. I searched every face, hoping someone would say they were wrong. Then my uncle stood up. His voice cut through the silence. He said I was just a child. He stood between me and the accusations, the only person willing to shield me from words that hurt more than any beating ever could. My little sister sat nearby, clutching her teddy bear. She looked from face to face, confused, too young to understand why everyone suddenly feared the sister she loved. The meeting ended, people walked away. Their whispers followed me long after they left. That afternoon, I learned something no child should ever learn. Sometimes grief does not only bury the dead, sometimes it buries the living too. And before I had the chance to mourn my mother, I had already become the monster in someone else's story.